Okay, Salam. Uh, this is term 2, week 5, Math CA. صراحة, it's very easy, بس يعني you have to understand the concepts. Uh, we have everything is new. Everything is new. Maybe 2 or 3 questions that I repeat from last week. But يعني look, you see the way they ask the questions. It's يعني it looks scary, but really it's all easy. Uh, this week we have new algebra and new geometry, but I don't think there's new IG. Yeah, I don't think there's IG that's new. But yeah, okay. So the first thing that's new for this week is the algebra, and mainly it's about sequences. Okay, the way they ask the question. Whoa, what's this? Oh, what do I do? Okay, the way they ask the question is like this. Let's say a sequence U is defined by the rule UN is AN plus B, where A and B are constants, and the first few terms are, okay, whatever. A sequence. A sequence would be a set of numbers. A set of numbers. Okay? I'm sure everyone's familiar with the lines. Remember, we took a line is y equals mx plus b. A sequence is very similar to lines. They're very similar. مثلا, I'll give you a sequence is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I'll give you this sequence. And then I'll put dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot means it's continuing. Then I'll tell you this sequence is U. Okay? What would UN be equal to? UN, this N means yani the position. So 1 in this case would be number 1. 3 in this case would be number 2. So 1, 2, 5 would be number 3, 7 would be number 4, 9 would be number 5. N refers to yani the position in the sequence, if you get what I mean. So UN, I'll ask you what's UN? Okay, UN is equal to, remember how we used to have mx plus b? Now we have an plus b. Same exact concept. Same exact concept. Okay, n stays as n. You know, we have mx plus b, n stays as n. But now we have to find a and we have to find b. How do you find a? A is what we call the constant difference. Okay? And then b, you find, I'll show you how you find b. So in this case, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. What's the difference between all of them? What's the difference between 1 and 3? 2. 3 and 5? 2. 5 and 7? 2. And so on and so forth. So you get what I'm saying. So the constant difference in this case, it will be 2. So this A will be 2n plus b equals un. Okay, now you're going to tell me, how do I find b, yeah? Okay, we said n is the number, yani the number you have, and no, like the position inside the sequence. So we said 1 would be, the n of 1 would be 1, the n of 3 would be 2 because it's the second number, 5 would be 3 because it's the third number, and so on and so forth. So remember how when you had y equals mx plus b, we said y equals 2x plus b, for example, and then I tell you how do you find b, and I gave you a point 2 comma 20. How would you find b? You'd plug in the point. Remember, you put 2 and you plug in as x2 plus b, and then instead of y you'd put 20. Remember how we used to do this to find the equation of the line? Now it's the same exact thing. Okay, n would be the position, so you can take any number here. Let's say I want to take 7. Let's say I want to take 7. 7 would be the fourth number, so n would be 4. So 2 times n, 2 times 4. N would be the position of the number, yani where is it in the sequence, plus b, because we're trying to find it, equals un. What is un? What's yani un refers to the actual number, yani the number. What's u of 4? The fourth, yani what's the fourth number? 7. You get 2 times 4, 8, plus b equals 7, and you get b equals 8 to the other side, minus 1. So un would be equal to, what's the equation? 2n minus 1. Okay, this is how you find the equation. And then now they tell you find u of 16. How would you do it? You go u of 16 equals 2 times n became 16. So 2 times 16 minus 1, you get 32, minus 1, you get 31. So that means your 16th number, if you continued counting in the sequence, would be 31. Okay, that's exactly how you do linear sequences. These are what we call linear sequences. Linear معناتها it's an plus b. Then we're gonna go to quadratic. But let me solve question 1 first. A sequence U is defined by the rule UN is an plus b, where a and b are constants. The first terms are 7, 22, 37. What's the value of U of 22? So they're saying, what is the 22nd number? So what do? The first thing you have to do is we have to find the equation of it. UN equals an plus b. We have to find out an plus b. What is it? How do you do it? I told you a is the constant difference, right? The constant difference. What's the difference between 7 and 22? 15. 22 and 37 is 15. So my constant difference is 15. So instead of a, I put 15 and then n plus b. Now how do we do it? You can take any number. Let's say now 7. Let's say I want to take 7. Last time I took 9. Or last time I took the fourth number. This time I take the first number, which is 7. So un is 7 equals 15 times n. What's n? 7. What's the position of 7? It's the first number. So put times 1. Since n is 1, it's the first number. Plus b. So b equals 7 minus 15, because you take 15 to the other side. So b equals minus 8. So our equation is un equals 15n, and b is minus 8, so minus 8. So how can we find u of 22 now? Yes, we can. So u of 22 would equal 15, and now it's 22, because we're talking about the 22nd number, minus 8, and you get u of 22 equals, do this on a calculator, 322. To make things easier, I think it would be better to just take the first number of the sequence when solving. I think that would just make it easier, because some of you will get mixed up sometimes. So just take the first number of the sequence while solving. So always work with n equals 1, because n equals 1 is the easiest to work with. That's linear sequence. But now question 2, it's a quadratic sequence. Is there any more questions for a linear sequence? Also, I want to do quadratic sequence last, okay? I'll solve these. I'll come back to question 2. Consider question 3 now. Consider the sequence defined by p of n is 3n minus 1. So they gave you the equation. Pn is 3n minus 1. What's the value of p1 plus p7? So we have to find p1 and we have to find p7 and then add them. So p1 would be equal to 3 times n is 1, right? So 1 minus 1. And p7 would be 3 times n is 7 now, minus 1. 3 times 1 minus 1 is 2. 3 times 7 minus 1 is 20. So p1 plus p7 would be 20 plus 2, which is 22. Okay? Okay, this is the last one I'll solve for sequences before going on to the quadratic sequence, which was question 2. Okay, this time it looks a bit trickier, okay? But don't worry, okay? You just have to do trial and error. It's a bit long. Okay, bn, they gave you b1 is equal to 2. So they gave you b1, the first number is 2. b2 is 3, the second number is 3. And they're saying the equation for bn is bn minus 1 plus bn minus 2. What does this mean? Okay, this means, let's say, and I told you, what is b3? b3 would be bn minus 1, so b3 minus 1 plus bn minus 2, so b3 minus 2. Why am I saying 3 minus 2? Because they said n minus 2, which n is 3, so 3 minus 2 is 1. So b3 would be equal to, b3 minus 1 is b2, plus b3 minus 2 is b1. Okay, so this is what it means. So when they say bn minus 1, that means if I'm using b3, that means I do 3 minus 1, so b2 becomes b2. And then when you say n minus 2, that means 3 minus 2 becomes b1. Do we know what b2 is and what b1 is? Yes, we do. So b3 would be equal to b2, which is 3, plus b1, which is 2. So b3 is equal to 5. This is how you solve. But then what are they asking for? They're asking for b5. So what would b5 be equal to? b5 would be equal to bn minus 1, so 5 minus 1, plus bn minus 2, so b5 minus 2, which is b5 minus 1 is 4, 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay. Now, do we have b4? No, we don't. But how do we find b4? Let's see. We can work our way up to it, right? We started with 1 and 2. We worked our way up to 3. Now let's work our way up to 4. What would b4 equal to? b4 would be equal to bn minus 1, so b4 minus 1, plus bn minus 2. So what is n? 4 minus 2. So b4 would be equal, b4 minus 1 is 3, b3, b4 minus 2 is b2. Do we know what b3 is, what b2 is? We know b2 is given, which is 3, and we just found b3 earlier, which is 5. So b4 would be equal to b3, which is 5, plus b2, which is 3. So b4 would be equal to 8. Okay, so now let's go back to b5. Can we find b5? Yes, we can. We know that b4 is 8, and b3 is 5. So b5 will be equal to 13. That's it. Well, okay, not that's it, but it's a bit long. But yani, that's how you solve. Okay, I know it's a bit long, but you literally, it's really, if you really put your head into it, you can do it. You just have to start one by one. You start with b1, b2. Since they gave you b1, b2, you start with b3. So find b3. After you find b3, find b4 until you reach to the one they're asking you. Okay, in the exam, they won't give you a long number. They'll probably say b4. They'll probably say before. They just want you to apply the concept of yani working your way up to it. That's all they want you to that's all they want you to know. Okay? Always start with B1, B2. What comes after 2? You find B3. Then what comes after B3? Find B4. How do you find it? By using the equation they gave you. Bn minus 1 plus Bn minus 2. Okay? Okay. Now we finished 1, 3, and 4. I said I'll come back to question 2, which is the quadratic sequence. The quadratic sequence, it's more complicated. Okay? The quadratic sequence, let me write it like this. It has a set of rules. These rules, you have to memorize them if you want to get the answer. The quadratic sequence is represented by an squared plus bn plus c. Very similar to, remember, we used to have ax squared plus bx plus c. This whole sequence thing is just replacing x with n, if you realize, by the way. Okay? So it's an squared plus bn plus c. How do you find a? How do you find b? How do you find c? Let's say I gave you a quadratic sequence 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on. Okay? I'll tell you find, let's find un. Remember un, when they say find un, they're saying find the equation. How do we know, first of all, it's quadratic? If you remember the linear sequence, whenever you minus the two numbers, it would always be the same number. You'd always get the same difference. It was a constant difference. In this case, let's minus the numbers. 1 and 4 is 3. 4 and 9 is 5. 9 and 16 is 7. 16 and 25 is 9. Are these the same number? They're not, right? They're not the same number. Okay, so what they did, so since they're not the same number, you figure out it's quadratic. And it should be pretty obvious. Yani, once you look at the numbers, you should know it's quadratic, and they're obvious. It's not the same number being repeated. But what do you do after this? The first step to solving a quadratic sequence is find the constant difference. You're gonna tell me, Walid, we minused. It's not constant. 3, 5, 7, 9. Here the difference is 3. Here the difference is 5. Here the difference is 7. Here the difference is 9. How is there gonna be a constant difference? Exactly. See, that's what you do now. There's an extra step to find the constant difference. You subtract, or no, I won't say subtract. I'd say you find the difference of the difference. Find the difference of the difference. Okay, the difference between these numbers, where the difference between 4 and 1 is 3, 4 and 9 is 5, 9, 16, 7, 16, 25, 9. Again, I'm saying you find the difference of the difference. Okay, what's the difference between 3 and 5? 2. What's the difference between 5 and 7? 2. And what's the difference between 7 and 9? Again, 2. So if you realize now, we found our constant difference, which is 2. So after you find the constant difference, now you can find a. How? How do you find a? 2 times a equals constant difference. Constant difference. This is formula number 1. Okay? This is the first one. So in this case, what would a be? 2 times a equals the constant difference, which is 2. So you divide by 2 on both sides, you get a equals 1. Okay? So that means in this case, a n squared, it will be a equals 1. What's the third step? Now we want to find b. How do you find b? This is your second formula. 3a plus b equals first difference. Okay, this is your second formula. So in this case, 3a, what was my a? To find b, by the way, you need to have a. Okay, what was my a? We found it, it's 1. So 3 times 1 plus b, which we're trying to find, equals the first difference. What's the first difference? Is it 2? No, 2 is my constant difference. The first difference would be the first two numbers. When you subtracted them, the first difference, which in this case is 3. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus b equals 3. Take 3 to the other side, you get b equals 0. Step 4, we need to find c. How do you find c? This is your third formula. A plus b plus c equals first number. This is third formula. Okay, these are your formula. How do I, let me zoom out. Oh, that's way too much. Like this. Okay, if you want to take a screenshot of this, go ahead. What am I doing? Okay, let me move this here. So in this case, what is a? We said a is 1, right? Plus b. What is b? B is 0. What is c? We're trying to find c now. Equals the first number. What's the first number of the sequence? 1. 1 plus 0 plus c is going to be 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Plus c equals 1. And then take 1 to the other side. It will be c equals 0. So let's go back to our sequence. A n squared plus b n plus c. We said a is 1, so it will be 1n squared. Plus bn. We said b equals 0, so 0n. Plus c, which you said is 0. So you put 0. So what do you get? 0n is 0. 0, you cancel. So you get, this is just 1n squared, which is just n squared. So this equation is going to be un equals n squared. This is the steps to find any quadratic sequence. Okay, you have three formulas. 2a is the constant difference, 3a plus b is the first difference, and a plus b plus c is your first number. Please make sure you memorize these, are very important. Okay, I know it's a lot, but it's the easiest way to solve. So over here, I know it might look weird, but just bear with me. Okay, they gave you f of n. F of n is the important part. This is the important part. Negative 3, 2, 17, 42, 77. That's your f of n. That's what's important. They gave you n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do they mean by n? The first number, second number, third number, fourth number, fifth number. Okay? And then they said, this I don't like what this is. Okay? I really don't like what this is. Well, how they say this, it's very, very stupid. Okay? But what they're trying to say is this is the first difference. This is the difference. This, when they put like this minus, they're saying difference. And you see how they're all different? That means this is not a constant difference, right? So this is just the difference. They gave you the difference already. They gave you all the differences. Like, مثلا 3 and negative 2. What's 2 minus 3? 5. 17 minus 2, 15. 42 minus 17 is 25. 77 minus 42 is 35. So they gave you all the differences. And then, under that, they gave you the constant difference. 15 minus 5, 10. 25 minus 15, 10. 35 minus 25, 10. So they gave you all the differences. They gave you the differences and the constant differences. So what is the value of f of 10? So obviously we know this is quadratic because they said squared, and obviously the differences are not constant. So how do we find it? We said a n squared plus b n plus c. Our step, we said find the constant difference. In this case, it's given. So we can skip the first step and skip to the second step, which is find a by doing the formula 2a, that's a, sorry, find a. 2a equals constant difference. In this case, 2 times a we're trying to find equals the constant difference, which is 10, right? So a equals 5 because you divide by 2 on both sides. So a equals 5. Step 3, we find b, right? Find b. By using the formula, remember, 3a plus b equals first difference. 3 times a. What is a? We said 5. So 3 times 5 plus b, we're trying to find it, equals the first difference. So you go back all the way to the first difference, which is 5. 3 times 5 is 15, plus b equals 5. Take 15 to the other side, you get b equals 5 minus 15 is minus 10. Step 4, what do? You find c. What was the formula? A plus b plus c equals first number. In this case, I move this up, yeah? A plus B plus C. A, we said is 5. B, we said is negative 10. Plus C, we're trying to find it, equals the first number. What's the first number? Negative, don't say 1. Please don't say 1. The first number is negative 3, okay? 5 plus negative 10 is negative 5, plus C equals negative 3. Negative 5 to the other side, you get C equals negative 3 plus 5. You get C equals positive 2. So what will my equation be? Let's plug it in. A(n squared. So A(n squared, we said A is 5, so 5(n squared plus Bn, so negative 10n plus C, which is 2. Can we find f of 10 now? Yes, we can. So we substitute n with 10. 5 times 10 squared minus 10 times 10 plus 2, and you get 402. Okay? Okay. Here, they gave you this diagram. They say bearing وما بعرف شو. But the important part is actually solving. Okay? They're asking for the length of AC. AC would be this red segment over here. Now we have the other two sides. Let's say it's AC. Let me draw it properly. AC. Now we have the other two sides, 8 and 4. Okay? And remember, how do you find a side if you have the other two sides given? We use the cosine rule, if you guys remember. But the cosine rule requires you to have the angle that's opposite to it, which is this angle. In this case, we don't have it, but it's very easy to find. Okay? If you look properly, these two lines, I'll draw it in blue. These two lines, this one over here and this one over here, they're parallel, right? Obviously they're parallel. So that means the co-interior angles, which is this one and this one, they will be supplementary. What does that mean? They add up to 180. You guys know supplementary, and they add up to 180. So 100 and this angle here, say x, equals 180. So obviously this angle will be 80 degrees, right? So this angle will be over here. Let's replace it with 80 degrees. This line over here. Okay, this angle over here is 80 degrees. So can we find this big angle over here that's opposite to AC? Yes, we can. If this is 80 and this is 40, that means we can replace all of this and clean it up and put 120. Okay? So now, to find AC, can we find it? Yes, we can, using the cosine rule. AC squared equals the other two sides plus each other squared, so 8 squared plus 4 squared, minus 2 times the other two sides, remember, 8 times 4, times cosine of the angle 120. And you get AC squared equals, I think it was 16 times 7, I think it was 112. So they want AC, they don't want AC squared, so it will be radical 112, and the calculator will give it to you for radical 7. Okay, for radical 7. Part B. Now we know now this is AC for radical 7. They want sine of this angle over here. Okay, they want the sine of, let's call this angle A. Okay, now we have the angle, now we have this angle over here 120. We have the side opposite to the angle they're asking for, and we have the side opposite to the angle that's given already. So, well, what rule does that ring? And they want sine. So that rule will be the sine rule. Remember, sine A over A equals sine B over B. If you guys remember this rule. In this case, what's sine A? We're trying to find this, right? Sine of angle ACAB. They said this angle here, A. We're trying to find this, so we'll keep it as sine A over A, which is the side opposite to A, which is in this case 8 kilometers, equals sine B. So sine of the angle B over here, which is 120, so sine 120 over B, which is the side opposite to angle B, which is 4 radical 7. You do this in a calculator, you get sine A equals radical 21 over 7. But you're going to say, okay, they're saying it's 14. The question is wrong. I checked it like 15 times. I even asked my teacher. It's wrong. It's supposed to be 7. Just so you don't get confused. It's radical 21 over 7. Okay, this question, honestly, I don't want to say it's not coming because I genuinely think it's going to come. So even though it's a bit hard, just try, okay? From a lighthouse, ship A is at a distance of 6 radical 5 miles and on a bearing of 40 degrees. and ship B is at a distance of 12 miles and a bearing of 310 degrees. Okay, okay, and I'll move this to the protractor because I just want to make things a bit easier. So we have ship A and we have ship B, okay, and they're saying from a lighthouse. So think about it like this: the lighthouse would be the origin point. So I'll draw the lighthouse in black, like this. This would be a straight line. We call it L, which is the lighthouse. Okay. Now we're saying ship A is at a distance of 6 radical 5 miles at a bearing of 40 degrees. So 40 degrees. So let's get the protractor. Obviously, you won't do this in the exam, so I'm just doing this so to help you understand. 40 degrees will be over here at 130. Oh, that did not work. Let me take a line like this. This is gonna be 40. And let me move my protractor away. Okay, this would be over here, ship A, at 40 degrees, and it's gonna be 6 radical 5. Okay, and then they're saying ship B is at a distance of 12 miles at a bearing of 310 degrees. 310 degrees, yani, okay, you finish this as 90, then you go 90 again, which becomes 180, then 90 again becomes 240, okay, and then you want over here, you want 50 degrees, 240, no, you want 70 degrees, so it's gonna be like this, you want, what was it, 50, yeah, here, because 270, this would be 310 degrees, because this over here is 90, let me show you. I know what I'm doing right now. It looks like I'm just waffling, but this is 90. This is another 90, so now 180, and this is another 90, so 270, and then this is on the protractor I did. It's 40 degrees, so 270 plus 4. You got in total. This whole thing will be. Let me erase it. 310. 310 degrees. So ship B will be over here. Okay, and we said it's 12 miles, right? It's 12 miles. Okay, what is the distance between the two ships? So we want this distance between A and B. So let's draw it. I'll draw it in blue. We want the distance between A and B. Okay. How do you do this? Okay, to calculate, we have this one over here. We have the side. Okay, we have sorry, we want the side. This was 6 radical 5 over here. This is 12 here, and we want the side AB, right? And we want the other two sides, which are given 12 and 6 radical 5. Okay, can you use the cosine rule? Yes, you can. So I'm gonna make things way easier for you. If this is 310 degrees, obviously you know it adds up to 360. So this over here will be 50 degrees. So what will this angle be over here? Obviously it will be right, yeah? Because you have 50, 40, so 90. So this is a right angle triangle. So let's draw the triangle. So we said it's right here. We said it's 12 here, and we said it's 6 radical 5 over here. Can you find this over here? Yes, you can. Just use Pythagoras theorem. 6 radical 5 squared plus b squared, so 12 squared, equals c squared. You solve it, you're going to get c squared equals, I think it was 324. Yeah, 324. And then you get c equals radical 324, which is 18. Okay. So if you want to skip all this drawing or whatever, you can just do 12 squared plus 6 radical 5 squared and then square root it whenever you see this question. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make this bigger so you can see it better. You have they're saying what is a fraction as a fraction? The tan of the angle between ADZY and ABCD. Okay. ADZY would be the shaded area over here. Okay, if you can see it, like that shaded area between that and ABCD, which is this bottom face, the base. You see the space ABCD. So between that and that over here and this, like they want this angle over here. So this angle that's over here between them. Okay. So let me clean it up. So this angle over here, how can you find it? Okay, let's draw a triangle. Always to find angles, you need triangles. Okay, that's my tip for you. Okay, especially in these shapes when you have shapes. They gave you this side is 12, this side is 14. Let me draw it. Side is 12, this side is 14, this side is 2, radical 85. Can you find the tan of, let's call this A? Of course you can. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is 12 and the adjacent is 14. Okay, which is 6 over 7 in simplest form. That's it. That's it. Question 8. Let me make this a bit bigger so you can see it again. Which three letters? They want three letters. They want the angle in letters. The angle between DAF, so DAF, which would be this face, DAF, this face over here, this blue one, okay, and DEF, which is this face down here. What would be the angle between this face and this face? It would obviously be the one yani over here, if you get what I mean. Now, let me put this in red. If you were to tilt it and look at it yani, from a different perspective, it would be the angle in between them, which is over here, right? AME, if you get what I mean. Heck. A, like this. Okay? Can you, I don't know if you can see it, but you just have to look at it, صراحة. Okay, they give you f of x, g of x, and h of x. What is f of 10? Okay, you guys, this is term 1 stuff. F of 10. F of 10, you have to find it. You have to find f of 10 first, right? Because you have to find f of 10, the inside first. F of 10 would be 2 times 10 plus 1. Why 10? Because they said f of 10, substitute x of 10. Mom, you get 21. 2 times 10 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So it's going to be f of 21. Because f of 10 is 21. So f of 10, so f of 21 equals 2 times 21 plus 1. You get 42 plus 1, which is 43. That's it, 43. Part B, g of 3x plus 1. G of x is x squared plus 3. So if you want, you have to substitute x with 3x plus 1. So what will it be? 3x plus 1 squared, because we substitute x with 3x plus 1, plus 3. So how do you find a plus b squared? This is from term 1. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So it will be a squared. So 3x squared will be 9x squared plus 2ab. So 2 times 3x times 1, it will be 6x. Plus b squared, 1 squared is 1. Plus 3, you get 9x squared plus 6x. 1 plus 3, 4. So you get 9x squared plus 6x plus 4. Here, hold. Then part C, f inverse of 57. Whenever they ask you for f inverse of a number, you can just equate the original equation to that number without having to find the equation for f inverse and then substituting. No, all you have to do is just equate the original x, the original f, to the number in the brackets, 57. And this will always work. 2x equals 56, x equals 28. And then they say f of x equals 17. So you take f of x, 2x plus 1, and you equal it to 17. You get 2x equals 16, x equals 8. Part E. Look, honestly, I don't think it will come. Not E, sorry. E can come, h of 0.8, you just do this in a calculator. H of x is 3 to the power of x. You just do 3 to the power of 0.8. You get 2.41. They want 3 significant figures. Okay, part F. They're saying h of x equals 2187. So that means you have to put 3 to the power of x equals 2187. Some calculators you can solve equations, but for the calculators that can't solve equations, you have to find a button that says log, then square, then big square. Okay? How you do it? You put in the small square 3. Okay, you put the number on the left, and the big square you put the bigger number, which is 2187, and you get the answer, which is 7. Okay, you have to find this button on the calculator. If your calculator can't solve equations, you find this button, and I'll show you log base button on calculator. It's that one over there. Let me see if I can find a better picture. Yeah, here. Oh, let me erase. It's this one over here. Okay, log base. So what you do is you put the 3, You put the small number in the small box and the big number in the big box. Okay, that's how you do it. Question 10. Okay, the tangent to the curve. I'm gonna go through this quickly because it was in my week 2 recording. I think week 2. It was in my week 2 recording. You can go back on that if you want the steps. But the first step, remember, is to find the point, right? So you plug in 2 to find the y. First step is to find your y. So how do we do it? It will be 2 cubed plus 4 times 2 squared plus 10. So it will be 2 cubed 8 plus 4 times 2 squared will be 16 plus 10 equals, I think, 18, 20, 34. So your point is 2 comma 34. Okay, after you find your point, we have to find the slope. How do you find the slope? You plug in the x into your derivative. So we have to find dy over dx, which is my derivative. We have to find the derivative. What's the derivative of x cubed plus 4x squared plus 10? 3 times 1 is 3. The reduced exponent by 1 x squared plus 2 times 4 is 8. Reduced exponent by 1 becomes x. And 10 doesn't have an exponent, so you just remove it. Okay, so how do we find the slope? You plug in your x to the derivative. So it will be 3 times 2 squared plus 8 times 2, you get 12 plus 16 equals 28. So we found the slope, which is 28. So 28x plus b. How do we find b now? As usual, remember you plug in the point, which is 2 comma 34. This is why you had to find the y. For this step, you need the y. So y is 34 equals 28 times x, which is 2, plus b. 28 times 2 is 56, plus b equals 34, which is my y. 56 to the other side, you get 34 minus 56, which is negative 22. Okay, so your equation will be y equals 28x minus 22. Okay, I'm going to go through this quickly. What's the speed between 9:30 and 11:30? 9:30 is 150. 11:30 it's 300. They want it in hours, so the time should be in hours. 9:30 and 11:30, there's a 2-hour difference. Okay, and between 300 and 150, so 300 minus 150 over the time, which is 2, will be 150 over 2, which is 75. And the speed between 7 and 9:30, there's between 7 and 9:30, there's 2 hours, 30 minutes, right? Which is 2.5 hours because 30 minutes is half an hour, so 2.5, 2.5 hours. What's the distance between 0 and 150? It's going to be 150 minus 0 over 2.5. You get 60. Okay. Okay. Before explaining, I'm going to give you, because this was in last week's AMS, the answer in the AMS was 56 and 672. These were the answers in the AMS. They probably come the same answer. Okay. 56 and 672. Okay. If you want to just memorize, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'll show you how. The maximum speed, you do base 1 plus base 2 over 2 times the height equals the distance, which is given 63. In the exam, I forgot what was given. Base 1 plus base 2, base 1 has to be in hours. So 1, because between 7 and 8 is 1. Base 2 is between 7:05 and 7:50, that's 45 minutes, which is 0.75 hours, because it's 3/4 of an hour. Plus 0.75 over 2 times the height. The height is the speed which we're trying to find. And then you solve this, and you get 1.75 over 2 times h equals 63. You take 1.75 and you do 63 divided by 1.75 over 2, and you'll get 72. Okay, you get 72. Now, how do you find the acceleration? You do 72, okay, first 5 minutes, so from 0 up to 5 minutes, which is here, v is 72. 72 minus 0 over the time, which has to be in hours. So it has to be 5 over 60. 5 minutes. Why 5 over 60? Because 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 5 over 60 is going to be our hours. Okay, so you do 72 over 5 over 60, and you get 864. Okay, probability questions, they're very easy. Okay, let's start, and I won't read. Okay, the probability that Leah walks to school is expressed as k over 5. Okay, going by bus is 3 over 5, so what will be walking? 2 over 5. Why? Because you just do 5 minus 3, you get 2 over 5. Everybody should know this. I'm saying this is very easy, basic probability, 2 over 5. Okay, then they say, what's the probability he goes by bus and he's not late? So, I don't know if I should screenshot and put it, wait. Let me put, okay, put new page, icon, current page. Okay, put this on down here. We said this is over here 2 over 5. What's the probability he walks to, no, we said part B, goes by bus and he's not late. So bus, the probability of bus and not late. What's the probability of going by bus? 3 over 5. So you do times being not late. In this case, how do you find it? It's going to be 6 over 7. Why 6 over 7? This is 1 over 7. So you do 7 minus 1. You get 6 over 7. Okay, 6 over 7. You do this, you get 18 over 22. Sorry, 18 over 35, not 22. 18 over 35. What is K? 18. Okay. Probability that Lee is not late to school. Okay. Not late to school, he can either go by bus and be not late, or he can go walking and be not late. Okay. So you have to find this probability and this probability and then add them both up. This probability we said by bus and not late, we said it was 18 over 35. Okay, I'll give it to you and from now. Plus the probability that he goes walking and not late. Okay, what's the probability he goes walking? We said 2 over 5. What's the probability he's not late? How do we find it? If this is 5 over 7, this will be 2 over 7. 7 minus 5 is 2, so 2 over 7. 2 over 7. You'll get it's equal 4 over 35. So you do 18 over 35 plus 4 over 35, you get 22 over 35. They want K, so it's just 22. Okay, the CF. Um, let me zoom out. Okay, for the commutative frequency, very easy. Okay, to graph. I will show you how to find the commutative frequency. How do you find? Okay, 5. You do the number plus the number before it. 5 plus 0 is 5. 18 plus 5, 23. 7 plus 23, 30. 10 plus 30, 40. 9 plus 40, 49. 1 plus 49 is 50. How do you graph? The first number goes with 0. So 50 goes with 0. And in this case, they already gave it 50, comma 0. They gave it. And the last number, obviously, no, forget about the last number. Then the last number of each box goes with the commutative frequency. So 52 goes to 5. So if you see 52 here, went with 5. 54 went with 23. See, 54 goes with 23. Always the last number of the box. Okay, last number of the box. Okay, 56 goes with 30. And in this case, look, 56 goes with 30. It goes with the last number of the box goes with the commutative frequency. 58 with 40. 58 went with 40. And then 60 with 49. So 60 with 49 somewhere here. So you just put the box here. Okay, and then 62 with 50, which is already given. 62 with 50. High the commutative frequency from term 1. And here they're asking all the material just so you guys don't forget. Okay, last time when I said this wouldn't come, it came. I have to explain. Obviously, it's strong and negative. Strong because the points they're close together, and negative because it's going down. Okay, and then they want the equation. To find the equation, it's y equals mx plus b. Mx plus b. How do we find m? It's the slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right? This is the slope. Okay, we have to take 2 points. I know I want to take this point, 12, 90, and this point over here, which is 20, 60. Let's find the slope. It will be 90 minus 60 over 12 minus 20. You get on a calculator it's going to be negative 15 over 4. Okay, that's your slope. So my m will be minus 15 over 4 x plus b. How do we find b now? You just plug in the x and the y. X, let's take this point 12, 90. My y is 90 equals minus 15 over 4 times x, which is 12 plus b. Okay, how do we find b? Cancel 4 with 12. You'll get negative 15. 12 divided by 4 is 3. You can cancel it by 4. Plus b equals 90. Minus 15 times 3 is minus 45. Plus b equals 90. You take 45 minus 45 to the other side, it'll be plus. So b equals 90 plus 45. So b equals 135. So our equation for the line will be y equals minus 15 over 4x plus 135. Okay, the way they asked it, they want x and y to be on the same side. So we have to somehow take this to the other side. How do you take it to the other side? The first step you do is you have to get rid of this 4. Okay, it looks annoying. You have to get rid of it. How do you get rid of it? You multiply by 4 in the whole equation. So 4 times y goes to y, 4y. 4 times 4 cancels. It will be equals minus 15x. Then 4 times 135 is plus 540. Then what's left? You just take negative 15x to the other side. It will be 15x plus 4y equals 540. and this is your answer. Okay. Then they're saying based on the line of best fit, who spends 12 hours, yani how much will it be? So you just go to 12 hours, go up to the line, you get 90. Okay. And uh, the model letter grade, yani which letter is repeated the most? Yani look here, obviously there's more points in between 80 and 90 in this region, and between 80 and 90 that's B. Okay, that's how you do it. I think it was also B in the exam though. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. The support on the channel has been crazy. I really appreciate it. uh, Inshallah, I'll continue staying consistent. Since we don't have any periodics that are hard this week, I think I'll finish the recordings for the whole week, either today or tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Bye.